boys and girls, Mr. Wojcik here. I'm going to be working with Mrs. Samla on the stop motion activity you're going to do. I'm going to teach the technology part. Mrs. Samla is going to teach the art part, and we'll put it together and you can do your activity and show us what you come up with. I'm going to stop this video and then we'll show you how to set up your area for the stop motion activity. Third graders, Mr. Wojcik again here. We're at the stop motion part of the activity, and you can see that I have my table set up here. I have this blue outline here, and this blue outline of tape is where the iPad will rest. Only a very small part of the iPad will come over the edge of the table, and about an inch, 2.5 inches is about all you need. And I had my ruler here. Let me go grab it. So your iPad will rest mostly on the table here, and your camera will come out about 2.5 inches over the table. And that looks like it's even farther over, but it's not very far over the table of where this iPad will be. A very little of the iPad will be over the table. Don't put half the iPad over the table because the iPad will have a tendency to get bumped and fall. So most of the iPad should be on the table, just a very small part will not. And when I line this up with my tape, almost all of my iPad is on the table. And now you can see down below, I already have my picture set up, but I have a picture of paper, and you're just going to line up whatever you're going to use for your paper to line up with the screen of your iPad. And you're going to be careful not to move your paper after you have everything set up, because if you move it, that might ruin your shot and you might have to start over. I have my 2 characters. Actually, I have 3 characters. My tree is a character as well. If you want to add a sun, and the sun does move in the sky, right? So you can actually have the sun moving across the sky, or maybe some clouds moving, or you can make the sun and clouds stationary by gluing them down, as well as the same thing is for your grass or your ground. Glue those down, but your characters you want to have that you want to move, obviously you're not gluing down. So that's my scene. I'm going to create a stop motion video with this. I already did actually, and it took 71 pictures to create my scene for my stop motion activity. And we'll get into the stop motion app here in just a few minutes. But once again, you want to set your iPad on the edge of a table, put your paper on the floor with your characters that you create, set it all up, and then go into the stop motion app, which is what I will go to now. You'll watch the stop motion app video after you watch this one first. Hello, third graders, Mr. Wojcik here, again for stop motion videos. And you might have to download this video from the stop motion app from the self-serve area. And that self-serve is right here, looks like this. You should have that on your iPad. And you're gonna tap on it. And these apps are in ABC order, so you're gonna go down to stop motion video towards the bottom. And Stop Motion Studio right there, and you're going to tap the install button. Mine says reinstall because it is already installed. So I'll exit out of here and find the stop motion video. And there it is up in the corner, stop motion. You're going to tap on it. And actually I'm going to get out of it, tap on it again. This is what your home screen will look like. I do not have many videos made. I have just one made. You have the big fish for an example is what they have for you. If you want to watch that, you could. And then I made one just recently. And notice they all say my stop motion movie, my stop motion movie. They're going to name these videos automatically this way. I will show you how to name your video after I create a new one here. So all you're going to do is click on New Movie to get started. it's going to take you into the stop motion app. Let's talk about some of the tools first that you might want to use. So this is if you tap that red button there, they just covered up. The red button is to take a picture. So I'll just take a picture here of, I'll just take a picture. I have a messy table here. I'll take a picture of my messy table. And I'll actually take a couple pictures. I'll move some things around a little bit. So, and that's how you would do your stop motion. Just move things a little bit, a very tiny bit. I'm moving them way too much. So you want to move it a tiny bit. And so it has the illusion of motion. So you're creating the illusion of motion. If I want to zoom in, I'm going to take my fingers and spread them close apart on my screen. If I want to zoom out, I'm going to move my fingers together. All right, so I'll take 2 more pictures here. All right, so there's 2 pictures, 10 pictures that I've taken, or 9 pictures that I've taken. So that's how you would take pictures. You can see your pictures are showing up on the bottom of your screen. You can see as I scroll through, my items move around. It'll be more dramatic with more pictures and less movement. So you'll see that in just a second here. Let's talk about some of the other tools here that we're going to use. I showed you the record button already, the red button. We have the timer up here, and this is something that you can maybe experiment with, but this timer is off right now. You can see it's off. And if you want it to take pictures every 5 seconds, it'll automatically take pictures every 5 seconds. I bet to put it to the 5. So if you're good enough to do your stop motion without tapping the camera or the red button, and you can move your characters in 5 seconds or less, actually less than 5 seconds, you could have the camera or the iPad automatically take pictures. Now, if you need to give yourself more time to set up your picture, you can have your iPad take a picture every 10 seconds. And you would just press done for it to take pictures every 10 seconds. So you have to figure out if you want to try to use that. I did not use that feature when I took my stop motion video that I'll show you in just a little bit. But this is just something you could do. I'm going to turn it to off again. And the next one is the play button to preview your stop motion video. So that is that play button that'll let you preview your stop motion video. Notice how fast that went. Okay, so that went pretty fast. We'll talk about speed in just a second. And then we have the 3 lines right here. And really the one thing that you could just talk about for here on camera is if you go to the letter M, you can auto lock your focus. And that will lock your focus in place. So if you put your hand underneath your iPad or bump your iPad, it's not going to refocus when you're trying to take a picture. I think Mrs. Selma wants you to keep it on auto though. All right, so that's one feature. The rest of it, I think we're just going to leave alone. We're not going to use any of those other features. If we go down here to record, you can record your voice over, but we're not going to do that on this activity. The plus sign is to add pictures or photos if you need to. Let's see here. The cog is a place that you'll want to work in, this wheel of the cog. And there's just a couple things here. One thing here for sure that you want to work on. If you notice here, I'm on my timer. And this timer will allow the video to play your movie speed at different speeds of time. And typically when you do a stop motion video, you're going to be anywhere from speed 8 to 12 is a really good speed. And what 8 to 12 speed will do for your frames per second is it'll give you a very smooth looking video. If you do it less than that, it gets pretty choppy. You can really see that it doesn't look like a real movie. But if you can change that speed between 8 and 12 is about where you want to be for stop motion videos. So if I slow this way down, you'll see how choppy this gets. I'll press done, and then I'll press play, and you can see how choppy that is. Okay, so it seems very choppy, so I'm going to go back into, I'm going to actually slow it down even more. press play. So it gets very choppy. It doesn't look like a video, just all they are is pictures. You can tell they're just pictures put together. And you can see, even though I took 9 pictures, seemed like a lot, there wasn't a lot of movement there. Not a lot of things going on. So you're gonna have to take 100, maybe 150 pictures if you want. I took 70 pictures. I was pretty happy with the outcome. So you're going to be upwards of 100 pictures at least to do your stop motion video. And actually, it only took me a few minutes to take 100 pictures. So I'm sure that's 100 sounds like a lot. It doesn't take very long. So you'll find that you'll probably end up taking a whole bunch more, a lot more pictures than I did for my example. So I'm going to go back into the cog. I'm going to change this to 9, and you'll see, actually 9.5, 10. So you'll see that the speed is much better here. Okay, it looks a lot smoother. Now again, that went through my 9 pictures very fast. I need a lot more pictures for this to work well. All right, next, let me look at my, if I make a mistake, I'm just gonna tap on my picture if I make a mistake, and I can delete a picture. Okay, I can copy a picture, I can cut a picture and move it around. I can insert photos from my camera roll. So there's all kinds of things I can do, but the main thing here is if I bump my picture or bump my iPad while I'm taking the picture, I can delete that picture by tapping on that picture. All right, so I can get rid of it. It's not stuck in my stop motion video here. All right, so that is that one feature I wanted you to see in that one. The slider bar on the side here is a neat feature. So this slider bar on the side right here, you can see how it's making an image within the image here. So if I move that to halfway, okay, so there's my slider bar right on top here. If I move it to halfway, it causes a double image. And what that double image does is if you accidentally bump your iPad, you can see where that previous item was or previous character was, and you can slide it back. So I could take this and slide it back to where it was. So there's where it is now, and I can slide it back to where it was. My hand's a little wiggly here for I'm holding my iPad, but you wouldn't be holding your iPad and be very still, and you can get your character to go back in almost the exact spot it was started in by sliding it back using this slider bar on the side here. Pretty neat tool, and you'll probably use it because you probably will bump your iPad, or your brother and sister might come around and bump it, or a pet in your house. So you're going to need to use this slider bar to get your item back into the same spot, and then just slide that back to the top for it to look normal again. Very nice feature there as well. I lost my little, oh, there it is. There we go. Let's see here. What else we want to talk about here? Autofocus, we did that. You want to keep the camera as still, or your iPad in that place that I showed you. Tape off your area. Keep it as still as you can, and try not to move it. And if you bump your paper on the floor, you're going to have to set it back up and just be real careful when you're making your video. Let's see, to save it, so let's say I was finished with this activity. I'm just going to press this back arrow here. Where's my, I'm just going to press this back arrow right there, and that's going to take me back into my main screen where I started my movie. And you can see now it named it my stop motion movie video 1 or movie 1. So if I wanted to change that, I'm just going to tap on the words, and you can see it'll come up and I can change the title. So I can say test video 1. Okay, I'm not going to use it, but I'm just giving you an example. I'm going to press done, and now it says test video 1. Okay, but this is the one over here that I made with 71, I think it was 71 pictures, and I'll just run through that and show you real quick here what that looks like. So 75 pictures I actually have on that one. When you first get this app going, it's going to ask you to use your camera. Please say yes, say okay, allow. I think it says allow, so make sure you allow it to use your camera. here we are with my video. It says 1 out of 75. I'm just going to play it here. I have a little character here that's going to do something, and then eventually this character is also going to do something, and my tree is in the way. So let's find out. So when you're creating your stop motion video, you want to think about a story, right? We talk about the design process or the engineering process here in class. Well, same thing for your stop motion video. Think about the process. What kind of story do you want to create? You want to plan it, think ahead of time, create it, and then do you have to make improvements to it, right? So you want to just think about that design process as you're moving through this whole activity, because you want it to make sense. And Mrs. Samala and I want to see it make sense. So what kind of story are you going to create? Well, here is my story here. My story is my blue friend here, I'll call him Blueberry, wanted to be with his friend Pink. And the tree was in the way. They couldn't get past the tree. Blueberry came up with a neat idea on how to get past the tree. Here we go. All right, and that's my stop motion video. I did have an error here where I bumped my paper by accident on slide, looks like 71 here. So I'm just going to tap on that and I'm going to delete it. And now it's gone. That error is gone, or that mistake is gone. So I could fix that and not make it seem like it was out of place. And I really don't need these last 3 pictures here either, because they're the same pictures. I just took extra pictures. So I'm just going to select actually, and I'm going to slide over and select all 3. And now I believe if I click on it now, I can delete all 3 at once. There we go. So now I have my 71 pictures. So that's my stop motion video. I can slide back and forth and see it. I can go backwards, I can go forwards. I'm just doing this with my finger. Or again, I can just press that play button on the side here. Now, when you're all finished and you feel like you're finished, I'm going to press this back arrow to get out of this. It's time to download it. Okay, so you want to download it to, well, it's not going to let me download it. So I probably should have checked into this and figured out how to do it before I talk to you about it. So I'm going to select stop motion videos. There we go. So I'm going to press select. So I'm going to press select. I'm going to tap on the one I want to select, and I'm going to do upload. Okay, I'm going to export my movie. And I'm going to export it to Seesaw. Okay, so you can export it to your Seesaw. And I'm going to put it right into whatever class you're in. I'm in first grade tech right now. So I'm just going to do it to Pebbles. All right, so I'm just going to give it to Pebbles. And so if you were in Mrs. Samala's class, you would give it to Mrs. Samala and I, because I want to see it as well. So I'm going to press the check mark. It's going to upload it. And the item is uploaded just like that. Okay, so now if I go into Seesaw, there it is. And I find Pebbles here. There's Pebbles. I have another item in there that I uploaded earlier today. There is my upload of my video, my stop motion video in first grade tech, but you would do technology or art. And I can play it now. And there we go. And then Mrs. Samala and I will comment on it. And if you have any questions during this on how to do something, just please make sure you ask us through our live Google Meet videos that we have for your classes when the time comes. I hope everything is going well. Hope everyone's feeling well in your family. Have a great day and have fun with this project. I can't wait to see them.